Clay for three.
The undrafted warrior who will decide the playoffs. Who knew coming into the season that it'd get to this point off a historical 16-1 playoff run, something we hadn't ever seen before, not just in basketball, but basically in all other major league sports. We'd only seen maybe one or two comparable performances. So Golden State fans felt untouchable. They were running their mouths, talking shit, and other teams around the league felt hopeless, like the entire season be futile. Despite the exciting new additions in Boston, Houston, OKC, Minnesota, despite the loaded stock of rookies, nothing be enough to stop the inevitable. Another banner hanging from the rafters in Golden State. Perhaps not just one, but two or three. Now before I start getting too LeBron on you with the arrogant and presumptuous, not 5, not 6, not 7, let's just take a deep breath and admire the current state of the league. Houston sits pretty atop the Western Conference and the NBA. Golden State locked firmly behind them, just barely ahead of Toronto. Faced with a multitude of hardships to battle through all season long, from the lack of bench production to youngsters and veterans alike falling off into season slumps, to underachieving free agent acquisitions, to semi-severe injuries to key players, and competition is truly back, alive and well in the NBA. Is it pure parity? Hell no, but when have we ever had complete and utter parity in this league to begin with? Is that really a thing, or is it just a nice concept to imagine, like spring in Canada where I currently stay at? Nah, there ain't no spring, that's just winter number 2, much like there ain't no real parity in this league. Even I, a die-hard Golden State fan, can appreciate the current state of the league. What good is championships if you don't ever have to fight for them? I mean, hell, that was what made being a Warrior fan so damn exciting when they were true bottom feeders. The possibilities, the hope, the endless struggle, moving toward what could potentially become other franchise. The drafts, reading up on potential lottery selections. Who could come in and save this group? That's the adventure of it. The drama, the playoff battles, the anticipation. And all you have to do to book one of these playoff tickets already in advance and witness the fight is hop over to SeatGeek. Big shout out to them for sponsoring this video. SeatGeek is an app that takes all the tickets from around the web and puts them into one place. They use a ranking system from 1 to 100 so you can easily find the best deal. Green is a great deal. Red, don't buy those. And the best part is once you find the right option, it'll actually give you the exact view from the perspective you'd be sitting at, as well as a diagram of the arena to get a better sense of what area you'd be in. So, say I wanted to grab some last minute tickets for one of these Celtics games. Easy, no stress any longer to scour the internet for the best deals. Just hop on to SeatGeek, find the right price, right seat for you, and that's it, you're done. Now it's not only for NBA games, they got baseball, football, boxing matches, whatever sport fits your liking, concerts, Broadway shows, music festivals, basically any event you want to get to, SeatGeek is the way to go. And you can use my promo code CLAY and get $20 off your first purchase. Just remember to enter in the code CLAY before finalizing the payment. So again, shout out to SeatGeek, and let's hop back into the video. Now let me throw this at you, and trust me, this all connects back full circle to the topic at hand. You know when you're in a class, a lecture hall, whatever, and there's always that oddball in the back of the class, real quiet, keeps to himself. He might not even show up half the time, but somehow, even on his own, he's been relatively successful. But there's no way for the rest of the class to know that. To them, he's probably flunking out or God knows what. So you get assigned a group project, and he approaches you, asks if you want to link up for the assignment. But you and a few of your boys had already got together and decided to sign up for this period. So naturally, you're going to stick together for group work and whatnot. So you kindly brush oddball off. You get home, you meet with your group, you divvy up the work, everyone's comfortable with what they got, but there's one subject that's a weak point for all of you. So you go to present, you do relatively well except for that one category, and you get a decent grade, B-. But when oddball goes out to present, he's got that thing you don't understand down to a science, and he crushes it, but the rest of the work is pretty average, so he winds up with like a D+. And you and your boys look at each other like, damn, we really should have gave him a chance. So when the next assignment rolls around, you approach him this time because he's got the skills that you lack, and you have the environment that he needs, some people that he can rely on rather than doing all the work himself. Well, in Golden State, that oddball is Quinn Cook. And with Steph out indefinitely, Cook's got exactly what they're missing. You got decent backup plans, Sean Livingston, Iguodala, McCaw, all of whom bring certain aspects that you miss in Steph's game. But none of them can knock down that three consistently. A couple of them don't even look to create their own shot most of the time. And even the one that does, Livingston, is often caught up in that pass-first role. To top it all off, you had McCaw, Andre sidelined as well. Now Andre's back, but Clay's out, so you're forced to go even deeper into your bag of tricks. Nick Young, been close to terrible overall this season, and he's not even a makeshift point. Yeah, he's stepped up the past couple games, but overall, he flat out hasn't brought the consistent impact we'd expected. All the while, Quinn Cook's in the back of the class, half the time in the G League, not even showing up to class, forgotten, neglected. But quietly, he's been down there showcasing a wide array of tools, all the tools you lack as a group, while you got the group that he needs, NBA level talent around him, and a shot at making his way back into the big league. When we talk about replacing Steph Curry, it's important to not take it literal. Nobody replaces Steph, but one thing I always come back to on this channel when discussing the Golden State Warriors is plug and play pieces. Players you can drop into the rotation, into the system easily without worrying about adjusting the game plan or any other things too much. And that's because of how important it is for this team to maintain its tried and tested formula. It's the first thing they look at when they're adding players in free agency, making small adjustments or small improvements. Swaggy P, that's Barboza. D West, Zaza, that's Bogut, that's D Lee. Patrick McCaw, that's Iguodala, and a little bit of Livingston. Jordan Bell, that's Draymond, straight up, and a little bit of JaVale McGee. Almost every addition will have their counterpart, and with Quinn Cook, that's as close as they're going to get to Steph Curry without a deal involving some major assets. This situation right here, that's exactly why that second two-way contract was used on him. He's insurance, and this is his time to insure. The most important aspect of his game is that three-point range. He's the only reliable option they have there, even out the makeshift points that can run the offense if they have to, like Iguodala. But the huge bonus is that he's not a one-dimensional player either. He's not just a shooter. This is another area Golden State lacks direly in their backup guard play. Almost everyone else is a one-dimensional role player. Cook is crafty with his handle, which is calm and controlled, yet also very quick with the ball. He's not about to pull some crazy shit, cross you up, drop you to the floor, and break your ankles, but when he wants to, he knows how to create an opening to the rim, and that's where his short stature shines, because he's able to blow by defenders and get to the basket very quick, and when he makes that push, he can accelerate 0 to 100 in an instant. He's crafty with his passes, which aren't super flashy a la Steph Curry a lot of the time, but they're crisp, sharp, and effective. He's got great vision and he makes the right timely passes. Because he doesn't go for the highlight pass as often as Steph, it helps limit turnovers. And though he's not flashy, he's tricky. A lot of times he won't outright fake the pass one way or the other, but he'll use his eyes and position his body a certain way that makes you think. For example, he'll be tossing the ball over the defense before actually utilizing a safer and cleaner bounce pass. So he's got the complete offensive package, and that's really what separates him from any other backup ones on the roster. Now, his time as a Warrior, we haven't seen him showcase too much of those playmaking skills, but he's had his moments for sure if you look at his career history, and that's not only in the G League or the Summer League. He's shown tremendous skills in that arena during his short stints with the Atlanta Hawks and other 10-day contracts he's gotten around the league. The reason for this, I believe, comes down to two things. First off, before Steph went down, I don't think he really had the confidence, plain and simple. Confidence in himself, and as well as confidence in him from the coaching staff. He rarely ever saw the hardwood, and when he did, his role was really just to space the floor. Now with Steph out, he's been the go-to starter and been getting about 30 minutes a game, close to Steph's season average. But the fact that he's there in place of Steph, as opposed to more proven options like Livingston, it's clear he's there for a reason, to score and to shoot the three, and try and make up for the things that Steph does that other players on the roster can't consistently do. You got plenty other playmakers like Esta and Andre, so the trust's there now obviously, but the direction's clearly been to focus on scoring from a plethora of areas rather than playing the traditional point guard role. And that being said, it makes a lot of sense, not only for these reasons stated, but also, though he's got great vision, his biggest strength has always been as a scorer. Now, like his playmaking, another similar area is defense. He doesn't have reach, he doesn't have height, he's always at a disadvantage, but he's fast, and he's straight up tenacious. Like we've seen from countless other small guards trying to compensate, he will get after it, give 110%. And though we've seen him struggle on D, like passing, he's shown his capabilities in the past. And I think as he starts to adjust to the defensive schemes and build some chemistry with the group, as well as the clear fact that nowadays he's not going to be consistently hopping back and forth between Oakland and Santa Cruz last minute to catch up with the team, a clear obstacle in a number of different senses. We should see his comfort level improve all across the board, and we've seen the start of that already for certain. So that's Quinn Cook, and I think it's clear now how valuable he can be to this team as Steph finally gets a good amount of rest after 5 sprains this season, many of which close to back-to-back, many of which unprovoked, 3 of which with no rest, and 1 of the other 2 with only a couple of days off. And especially now with an undermanned, injury-ridden group, Klay, KD also out, possibly Draymond too now, and multiple others missing time here and there, it's imperative the next man up culture that the Warriors are constantly gloating about proves to be true once again, specifically for Steph, because we've seen how easily those injuries can be re-aggravated without substantial rest. And this team needs him healthy for the playoffs. Cook's that insurance that'll help him keep him fresh for the playoffs, help continue the fight for positioning. He'll be instrumental in deciding the playoff structure, where the Warriors will fall. But the real question is, should they want him for the playoffs? Draymond clearly does. To accomplish that, to make him eligible, someone's going to have to go to create space on the official 15-man roster. So who should that be, if anyone? Let me know what you think in the comments. Now, if you want to see some more extra content, extra edits, behind the scenes stuff, head over to my Instagram and Twitter at ClayAllenTV. That being said, keep those notifications on and make sure you hit subscribe if you haven't already. As always, leave your thoughts, feelings, perspectives in the comment section down below. Clay Allen, stay ballin', and I'm signing off. Peace.